Welcome to a spooky Halloween edition of Visual Effects Artists React. We're gonna be looking at a bunch of gnarly clips, but don't worry, it's all fake. You can close your eyes if it gets scary. Remember, it's just food coloring and corn syrup.
Oh, dude, this is so crazy.
Where the opening of Ghost Ship is spicy. There's a lot of tension, pun intended, you'll see.
We're gonna take a look at Shaun of the Dead.
Classic.
Yeah, this really is a classic shot, isn't it?
Also, we're gonna look at Bram Stoker's Dracula starring Gary Oldman. No visual effects in that movie, except for one shot.
Halloween is not just for ghouls and goblins and ghosts on ships.
What an entrance.
We're gonna be looking at the 1980s hit classic Tollywood film, Superman.
Wait, it's called Superman?
It's called Superman.
Okay.
Should it be? That's a question for another day.
All right.
Bon voyage.
Let's start with Ghost Ship because
There's way
the movie
more than
itself
13 ghosts.
starts perfectly. Uh-oh. God, the anticipation.
Legit. Oh, it's just gonna behead them like chickens in a coop, huh?
Do they do that?
I think.
Ooh.
Oh, the little, I see, that's clever. Wow.
Perfect editing.
That's how ghosts are made.
Can you start leaking?
Oh, they
Leaking.
should feel it, dude.
Ooh.
Dude, this is so crazy. They lived? No, they're the last to split.
No, she's holding him up.
Oh, he must have been super short.
Oh my God, he turns into a freaking South Park there. He turns into a Canadian.
He turns into a Canadian.
That's so accurate. Wow, Canadian ghost ship. That's crazy. And then that's like a practical head that they're projecting onto?
I mean, I think this is just solid, really solid comp work. But they just cut out that little bit of his face from the footage and start moving that. And I think once it falls a little bit far enough, it cuts to a different element that they got of him turning his head forwards. In fact, you can see the frame blend.
Right there, yep.
Yeah, it's frame blending between the two.
That's great. And so what do you think that stump is another element that they're just compositing?
Yeah,
in?
it's just like,
yeah.
you know, my cooked steak.png, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Love that one. I've seen the split in half thing a million times, but not on this scale.
Yeah, you've never seen it split in half a million times in one scene.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They got some good false floor gigs going on. Like this arm shot,
That's
that's
great.
the person under the floor, you know. But same with that shot with the woman, both her legs and her, it's false floor. The previous shot of the guy cut in half, it's false floor.
Really cool.
Yeah.
This one where the guy gets pantsed, I think is a little strange. Because
Yeah.
you're just like, that is the least amount of damage.
Well, so there's one issue. So clearly somebody thought this through and was like, wait, if a wire cut you in half, the bottom of your shirt would just fall off. But they forgot to account for the fact that also his arms would fall off.
That's so real.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, I'm wrong.
No,
he was dancing.
Yes,
They
he was
were-
dancing like this.
Clearly,
He was
well, it
dancing
turns
like
out I
this.
was the
He's
one.
dancing like this, dude. My go-to on the dance floor.
Yeah. But I'm not, what I'm curious about are why did his pants fall down?
Why did his pants fall down? Was that necessary? Wait, go back.
No, but
Why did his pants fall down?
He's literally wearing, what are those boxers? Are those is that underwear?
It's like a onesie almost.
I guess suspenders were holding up his pants.
Were they? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he cut his suspenders, the pants fall down too.
So
No,
confusing.
but your pants don't just fall down.
His do.
It's honestly way cooler than I expected.
It's a solid opening for a movie.
Yeah, man, I'm hooked.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. I like that scene. It's really gnarly.
Do you guys like Edgar Wright? Mm-hmm. Love him. Shaun of the Dead, classic, hilarious,
Shaun.
violent, and they use visual effects in this scene in a really fun way.
This is it. I'm gonna fuck off.
We've all been here.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah!
Classic.
Yeah, this really is a classic shot, isn't it?
It's really well done.
Guts through the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby, land on it.
Land on it.
Yeah. Sorry, I get excited. So if you guys were gonna approach a shot like this, how would you do it?
I mean, I would have somebody stand up and do this action, ideally with something under their back to guide them so they can keep it lined up. Now the pole's comped pretty good at the bottom. Ideally, I would dig out the ground and be pushing it up as the actor goes up, so that you get realistic shadows and interactions and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's too much inconsistency on it to move it, I think, you know, with the liquid. It's not like a uniform glossiness. I think, yeah, you get too much bump. Do you see how it was wiggling though with her body?
Feels like it's interacting.
Yeah, I know, it is being pushed. Basically, they're taking a plate of the pole when it's at its full extension and tracking it in, and once it's no longer moving, they let it go. It's basically right about, boink, right there. That's like the element of the pole they're using, and they're tracking that onto the pole that's being pushed.
You are spot on. Yeah, that's exactly how they did it. It's almost the same technology as those fake knives that retract into themselves.
Yeah.
That base is fully practical, and the post retracts into itself.
Yeah.
So once she lands on the physical thing, they introduce plate photography. I think it's a practical pipe. I'm not sure if it's CG or practical, but also a blood element that they shot on green spurting through the pipe. So that's all traditional comp work. And then when she gets off it too, yeah, you're totally right. Because you can see on the pole, there is texture, right? If it was immaculate reflection, then it could slide up and it wouldn't bother us at all. But when there's imperfection, when there's chunks of blood that don't match chunks on top, you totally see the pole going up. And then, yeah, you see that hard one frame pop to the actual pipe. I mean, you guys can maybe lay down how they did looking through her body. Because it's one take, right? There is parallax, there is a moving camera, and they do land on the face through her body, which of course you couldn't possibly see if she was blocking their field of view.
Yeah.
So how did they get them in there?
It's funny because the faces aren't in the same spot where they would be.
And honestly, it doesn't even matter because it doesn't like trigger anything in you when you're not paying full attention to it. Because again, that hole is so small that when you finally do see their faces, there is no parallax, right? The camera's kind of landed. So all you really need to do is a 2D track. If this was a much bigger hole and you were seeing the parallax, now you need to match move. You need to really do like motion control or something to get like a real good match.
Yeah.
But here you just get away with a single static plate that you track in, simple 2-point track, and then just roto out the hole. And then of course the only 3D element that we have in there is the center guts of that hole. The meat tube. Yeah, to give you that depth. Because without that depth, she'd look like a Paper Mario or something, which would be no good. This is traditional, practical compositing, very simply done, and it has all the impact, if not more, than a more complicated approach would have. So I appreciate them doing that here.
All right, so this movie's a little interesting because it came out in 1992. They were trying to do some cool effects. The effects team was like, hey, let's shoot this, let's do a green screen here, let's do this here. And Francis F. Coppola was like, no, I want it to be done the way that they did movies back in the late 1800s. I want it to have that period feel. It's kind of the same reason Christopher Nolan stayed away from CGI in Oppenheimer, is he just didn't want the visual effects to feel like they're from a different era than the film.
So it's a tiny miniature train set.
25th May, Budapest. Left Budapest.
Ooh, smoke. Wait.
That's kind of a cool
that is
shot.
cool. That feels large.
I like that.
The scale of that smoke feels very large.
Yeah,
shooting miniatures, there's obviously like a cap as to how small you can get. And I imagine it's quite challenging to recreate smoke in particular because it acts like a fluid. It's growing and changing, and the way forces affect fluids, obviously scale is very, very important to get the right look.
The book is big.
The book is big, and it's like a 12-foot by 15-foot book. They wanted to do this with forced perspective and like some sort of split diopter so you could focus in both areas, but they weren't able to get the shadow to work with the forced perspective, and they're just like, you have to build a giant book and put it right up against the train because we want the train to cast a shadow on the book.
I love the kitschiness of this, but when it's supposed to be like heavy, dark Dracula spooky stuff, I'm like, it doesn't jive with that,
Yeah.
This is fun. When you watch that shot with the book, you're like, oh, this is a fun shot.
It's a little like, it's very Tim Burton.
Yeah.
Yeah, how would you do this shot without any compositing?
So basically what you do is you film your shot, and then you do a cool trick where you turn off all the lights and put black everywhere. And then you film it again with the same film stock. You relight your stuff a little bit there, maybe throw in some green lights, re-roll it over your same film.
You could theoretically roll your take, rewind the film, turn the lights off, cover everything in black, do the smoke. That would theoretically work as long as your camera didn't move so that your pictures would line up.
Yeah.
But when the camera moves, it becomes a problem. So here's a little hint. Look at all that fabric that just appears. Or in the previous shot, there's a little kind of like green line, you can kind of see the edge of things.
Are they using mirrors?
Got it.
I said mirrors for the last one. Can I just grandfather it in?
I was about to say, because they got to be using mirrors.
So you have a piece of glass at a 45-degree angle, and they have the set duplicated off to the side, but everything's wrapped in black duvetine. And so they just pour smoke in, and it's all lit with green light, and that piece of glass is only going to catch the bright stuff, which is the smoke. And then you're filming also through the glass into the rest of the set.
Wow.
So you end up effectively doing an optical composite live using that piece of glass.
Yeah.
You can see the smoke reflected over the set, and because everything's lined up, it feels like the smoke's actually flowing through the set.
Wow, man, the creativity.
That's incredible because like I'm watching these shots and like you didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
You could have just made one set. Who the hell are you, man?
I am Venom.
I mean, if we're gonna do Drac, we should do Mr. Morbius.
Oh, let's go.
If
Freaking Drac to back, baby.
If we're talking about the king of vampires.
It's getting away!
When they do the smoke trails on Morbius, it just makes it really hard to read his body language and like his physicality. It just becomes a smear.
Yeah, it's also, this whole movie's dark too, by the way. It's all dark vampires wearing black, motion blurred at night.
It does muddy the action, it makes it hard to follow. I mean, it already is hard to follow, to be totally honest. Yeah, even in those slowdown moments, it's so obscured. It actually reminds me of the Little Mermaid conversation we were having about the hair in the face.
Just like pull up the VFX breakdown because they go through a lot of these shots and scenes with some breakdowns that are pretty crispy. Look at that, darkest guy in the world on the darkest building on the darkest night.
All that detail they put into it is just silhouettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that hurts me watching this is the simulation work on the cloth is incredible and it's buried.
Yeah, like this CGI is so robust and then it is so dark.
Look at all that stuff that was there
Oh my God.
on the day. And then,
That is
that's
insulting.
such a joke.
That literally summed it up. That was perfect. Just so much effort dumped onto this shot.
Yeah, once I got to here, I was like, okay, it's a little dark, but it's not that bad, right? You can still see most of it. Okay, it's actually not bad. I can see most of it.
And
It's
then
pretty
they
cool.
Look,
Oh my goodness.
the entire left side of the frame disappears.
Yeah.
All of it.
Like, who was making that decision?
It's just so
It must be
funny.
heartbreaking.
Like, this is like the most, I mean, if you were gonna make a funny VFX reel, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You show the 20 layers and then at the very end you fade out.
Yes.
And you're like,
yes.
wait, what was the shot we saw in the movie? It's like, no, it was that one blurry black whip pan.
I did the left of frame here.
I would be so sad and honestly kind of insulted.
Yeah.
I would be insulted, straight
Yeah.
up. It's like, regardless of how good your colorist and your cinematographer was, it'd be like, you guys wasted my time. You guys clearly don't have things figured out. I mean, you can make dark movies. It's just when you're putting it out for television, don't keep it tuned the same way as if it's going to professionally calibrated theater. You need to account for people not having good displays. Like, don't ruin your audience's experience.
Like, don't forget, by the way, someone did environment design concept art for this location before anyone even brought like a 3D model into the mix.
Oh my gosh. The layout work, the modeling required. Dude, I would love to hear from anyone who worked on this shot. If you are out there, how much time went into this? Halloween is not just for ghouls and goblins and ghosts on ships, all right? It's time for our heroes. It's a time where we dress up in an outfit that represents who we want to be. And who does everyone want to be?
Garfield.
Okay.
Garfield.
Yeah, that was a pivot. Besides Garfield.
Superman.
The obvious answer. Superman. It's always
obviously.
Garfield, Superman. Man. So yeah, pick your poison there. I'm gonna give you NT Rama Rayo, 1980s South Indian Superman.
This guy literally looks like he's about to go trick-or-treating. Like, he's just missing his son.
The bullet's not even mushed.
He got the whole...
Wait, that's a casing.
He got the shell. He got the shell. Like, maybe the bullet was put in backwards.
Oh my gosh.
Classic.
Oh, that guy took a solid drop kick.
I love his attack style though. He just leaps at everything.
Whoa. Oh, get him.
Freaking love this guy. What's his superpower?
It's like frog-like stuff. He's got frog motion. What an entrance. Oh my God.
His strips coming through the window. Oh my God, that's amazing.
It's giving shades of Steven Seagal, dude.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, by the way, yes, this is
this is
spooky.
rad.
That's spooky.
That's what I'm talking about,
spooked.
man.
I'm hella spooked.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Oh, hell yeah.
hell
Just like
yeah.
that window.
Freaking hero's entrance.
Donk.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's full contact.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you just snap?
That's how you take them
His
out,
neck?
baby.
Dude, what move is that? Yeah.
He doesn't even turn it
He
at all.
popped one vertebra and then zoom in.
But yeah, that is South Indian Superman. He's the one true Superman to me. and you can't change my mind.
Yeah, you know, it turns out this is the spookiest clip out of all of them.
Yeah.
If you like watching us go off the rails a little bit and get more into the world of making fun of videos rather than talking about VFX, well, our website is right where you want to go, and check out the extended reacts there, quarterdigital.com.
We don't make fun of anyone. They did this to themselves.
Oh, hey. Get out of here. What are you still here for, man? The video's over. We'll see you next week.